Welcome, 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 welcome. We are live once again for another episode number 8 of Let Me Talk to You. My name is Frankie Fresco, and of course, my brother from another mother. What's up, DeTrapio? How you doing, bro?
Hello, everyone. What I do, Fresco. It's good to be back. Another day, another blessing. Let's do this.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for making it. I know you might have to leave a little bit early from the show, which is understandable, but I'm glad you at least made it for a portion of the show. And if you are able to stay for the show, for the whole show, great. If not, then it's all good. We do have a special guest later on. I hope he's able to make it for the Dolphin segment. One of my friends is in the house. Once again, as you come on in on the chat board, we'll go ahead and give you a shout out already to one of our boys, King Mahi Carlos. Thank you so much for tuning
Carlos.
in, and like I said, guys, don't forget to share, don't forget to hit the like, don't forget to go ahead and tell your friends and family about our podcast. On a side note, as you could tell, I also changed it up. I also have a brand new mic. I wanted to sound a little bit more crispier as well, so crisp sound technique. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear, and I hope it doesn't sound too loud. If it does, just let me know in the chat. Yeah, what do you mean another mother? It's just my new name tag for my brother for when I always introduce him. But yeah, so quick breakdown of what we're gonna be talking about tonight. We're changing it up a little bit, so we are going to be focusing on a little bit about the wrestling portion, but we are moving forward going to probably cut off a portion of the wrestling. We're going to move on from AEW due to the fact that usually Squared Circle Digest, when I do the show with Sean, we cover a lot of the AEW portion. So what I want to go ahead and do, and what me and my brother agreed to do, is basically do just the NXT portion. Whenever I have a guest, maybe then we'll talk, WWE or AEW. But in the meantime, we're gonna focus mostly on the NXT portion of WWE. And then I know yesterday we did not have the Squared Circle Digest. Me and Sean are doing our best to try to get back on Friday. So look out for Friday on all social media platforms. We'll go ahead and post an update to let you guys know if myself and Sean will be going on Friday. Like I said, we're both working on that. We apologize we weren't able to do the show last night. It was a couple of issues that came up on at the last minute, so that's why we weren't able to go ahead and do it. But this show keeps going. So we're gonna talk NXT, and then after that we'll talk football. We have a lot to talk about at that portion of the show. We'll definitely have hopefully our homeboy, my friend, our guest for the evening. After that, we'll talk a little bit about the Miami Heat and the tournament that actually ended this past weekend, and then we finally will end it with soccer. We'll talk a little bit about champions. We'll talk about Copa America, and we'll talk about Eurocup. We can't forget about Eurocup. We got Eurocup as well as something that is happening at the same time as Copa America next year. So enough of me blabbering. I know my brother's like, "Yo, when is he gonna get to the topic?" All right, let's talk a little bit about NXT and that. What we're gonna talk about NXT. We're not talking about last night, and the reason we're not talking about last night because I was a little bit disappointed. I thought the show could have been a lot better. But we are gonna talk about the pay per view, the live event that they had on Saturday, Deadline, and overall in general, man, what an amazing type of live event that they pulled out there. It all started with our homeboy, the one and only CM Punk, making his debut in NXT. The man of the hour, NXT, CM Punk. Obviously, we thought he was gonna choose between Raw, SmackDown, NXT. We obviously you saw last night on Monday night that he chose WWE Raw, but that doesn't mean we can't go ahead and still talk about him showing up at NXT. Nick, what did you think about him being NXT? And also, what did you think about him wearing pink? The Bret Hart, like he was taking a shot at Shawn Michaels there. He was trying to make it funny. What did you think about that beginning program of Deadline?
That's his personality, man. He likes to spice things up. Um, that's just how he rolls, and this just comes to show you that the WWE has more of a investment on him than what we really think he's gonna be part of. I think now having to see him be part of, he showed up also in SmackDown too. Am I correct? Or
Yes,
just
yes.
Raw?
No, no, he was well. He showed up on Raw at the beginning after
Mm-hmm.
the pay per view, and then
Correct.
he went ahead to SmackDown. That's when he started, being nice and he started going after everybody. And then now he actually made his way over to the NXT over the weekend. And then yesterday he was yesterday I keep forgetting. I'm getting confused that we didn't do the show last night with me and Sean. On Monday he was back at Raw, where he made his decision that he was going to stay on Monday Night Raw. So, but yes, that's where basically CM Punk stand when it came to his choice of preference. But still, NXT, and I did want to mention this to you, and I wanted to get your opinion. Rumors are, even though he was at Monday Night Raw, he was in NXT last night. And while
Mhm.
he was in NXT last night, he was actually not involved when it comes to the actual wrestling or the storylines, but he was actually backstage working and watching and learning from Shawn Michaels. So word on the street is there's a possibility that you will probably have CM Punk get either involved soon or maybe after Michaels decides to move on into running NXT. And what's up, DJ Memo? I see you in the house.
So
Welcome, sir.
Memo,
Welcome. There is a possibility that CM Punk might want to take over NXT after Shawn Michaels. I don't think Shawn Michaels is going to leave anytime soon. Shawn Michaels enjoys what he does in NXT, running the whole NXT show, and he's had success. But overall, in general, bringing in CM Punk as maybe as an assistant or maybe his replacement once he's tired of it, I think it's a good idea. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. I think this is something that WWE may feel like this is a good investment. Like I said before, he showed up on all three platforms, Raw, SmackDown, and now NXT. And I like what they did there because the crowd follows CM Punk. So they first went into obviously the pay-per-view, then to Raw, then everyone went ahead and started tuning in to SmackDown. And then how can you not go ahead and incorporate the people from SmackDown and Raw to go ahead and see him in NXT? So that chain effect was very very smart when it comes to WWE. And then now hinting that he's gonna be being a possible mix and having some sort of big role in how NXT is gonna be, in the future. I think it's a great move. I'm not gonna lie though, I do see CM Punk being like a manager first in the sense of, or like how Paul Heyman is, that he
Hmm.
kind of like caters up to someone. I think that's what CM Punk might do.
Hmm.
That's just a wild guess, but that wouldn't be a bad approach before he goes ahead and takes on a big role, like Shawn Michaels. I doubt Shawn Michaels right now is thinking of retiring, when it comes to that type of role. But I like where they're going with this. I like what CM Punk, how invested CM Punk is being right now in the whole WWE mix. I love the pink. It was awesome. And like I said before, that's just his personality, man. And he's always either controversial or he's with the people and everyone likes him. And I think this is a fantastic move.
Absolutely, man. And then to kind of recap as far as the NXT deadline pay-per-view, we had quite a match, a couple of good matches that really went down this past Saturday. Dragon
Hmm.
Lee pulls the upset. He beats our boy Rey Mysterio, Dom Dom. Unfortunately for Dom Dom, he gave up his belt, but he didn't have anybody from the Judgment Day go out there and help him out. So Judgment Day was not looking out for him, which was a little bit disappointing. I thought Rita Ripley might have been out there, or maybe Damian Priest. They did talk about it on Monday night. I don't want to go too much into it, but I think what ended up happening is I think they're done with probably Dom in the NXT world, which in a way it's a little bit disappointing because, like I said, yesterday's show wasn't too much. I wasn't feeling the show as much. I thought they could have done a lot better. The other match that happened was the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. That the winner of that was Blair Davenport. She defeated Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend,
Hmm.
Kalani Jordan, and Fallon Henley. Carmelo Hayes defeated Lexis King in his match. The Man's Iron Survivor Challenge, Trick Williams defeats Dijak, Braun Breaker, Tyler Bate, and Josh Briggs. We had the steel cage match between Kiana James, who defeated Roxanne Perez. And then
Hmm.
finally, we had the NXT Championship match. Um, it was Dragunov. I don't know if I said that right. I don't know if I said his first name right. But anyways, Dragunov retained the belt over Baron Corbin. Talk to me, Nick. What did you think about deadline? What did you think about the results? And did NXT get it right? Did they pick the right people to win?
Um, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little not disappointed, but just I wish Dominic Mysterio could continue his reign as champion, but having to have Dragon Lee, a young up and coming wrestler, flashes of a young Rey Mysterio. I think this is going to be a great opportunity for him to kind of elevate himself. Blair Davenport winning the Iron match was I think that's a great choice, even though all the women threw all their energy and effort to the match, and it was great. Carmelo Hayes and the whole Lexis King and Trick Williams story is still, having to create that suspense, having to create that, um, throwing, these weird directions. We don't know what's going on. We don't know who attacked Trick yet and stuff like that. So that's great. And then Dragonoff, man, I think that's my favorite NXT wrestler right now. Um, I like his persona. I like his wrestling, and you know, I think the whole pay per view itself was great, and that's why I feel like NXT felt a little bit, under the radar on Tuesday because there was so much going on Deadline that I think Tuesday was kind of like a hey, let's cool down and let's just I don't want to say slap a random wrestling card, but it kind of felt like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. The fights on Saturday were really good. If I had to pick the best three fights, it was definitely the women's Iron Survivor Challenge match and the men's Survivor Challenge match, and of course the Dragon Lee and Dominic Mysterio fight. Those three matches delivered.
Hmm.
Dragonoff with Baron Corbin, it was okay. The whole steel cage match with Kiana James defeating Roxanne Perez, I thought that was gonna be a lot better. It was okay.
Hmm.
There was some involvement in there, and that cost Roxanne Perez to lose the fight. But man,
Correct.
did that Iron Survivor Challenge what a surprise, because I'll tell you what, Trick Williams was the last one to enter. And now, if you guys don't know, the Survivor Challenge is basically you have five wrestlers. They all come in, and you have two wrestlers coming in at first, and then you have 5 minutes in between. And then the whole match is supposed to last 25 minutes. So whoever gets the most pins in those 25 minutes is the winner. Every time you get pinned, you get put in a penalty box. So every time you would get somebody pinned, they would run into the penalty box. And the funny thing is that sometimes they had a couple of them in the penalty box and they would duke it
Fighting
out.
each other,
There was,
yeah.
there was, there was one part, I believe it was in the women's Iron Man match, where they were blocking the two girls. I think it was
Tiffany.
Tiffany. They were trapping Tiffany and the other girl in there, and I don't think it was Last Legend. I think it was um I, it was Tiffany and somebody else. I don't recall, but I know that. So they had to jump off the top of the. They had to get out of the
Out
of
of the
the
cage.
no, they had to get out of the penalty box over the top
Penalty
because they
box, yeah.
weren't letting them do it. And then that's another thing. Tiffany Stratton, there was a part where she actually jumped from the turnbuckle and landed on all of them. That was probably one of the biggest highlights of NXT's pay per view. Tiffany Stratton was not close. Shout out to Lash Legend. She almost had it. I actually thought that they should have given it to her. That was kind of like my underdog. I thought she was gonna win it. But Blair Davenport out of the blue, and then Kalani Jordan. A lot of people like Kalani Jordan. She's an up and coming. She's really good. They thought big about her, but it looked like it was all between Blair Davenport and Last Legend, to be honest, to win that. And at the end of the day, it was eventually Blair Davenport. I hope they're able to spice it up and make her challenging for the NXT title, women's title, um, like enjoyable. Because obviously on the men's side, Trick Williams, when Trick came out, like the crowd went crazy. And I'm telling you right now,
Definitely.
Trick Williams is gonna be probably the next one to jump into either the Monday Night Raw or the SmackDown roster. Now, on a side note, I do want to let you guys know that they announced who will also be on SmackDown for the USA title tournament, and from the NXT world, that is Carmelo Hayes. So Carmelo Hayes is making his SmackDown his debut on SmackDown for the first time. So shout out to Carmelo Hayes. I believe he's going up against Grayson Waller. So
He deserves it.
hopefully he could do really well and just shine over there. I think Carmelo Hayes, will succeed if he stays in NXT, or if he decides to move to SmackDown or Monday Night. Now again, we don't know what kind of direction they want to take NXT, if they're gonna keep doing it as a like a training platform for them to eventually move to the main roster, or what they've been doing recently, which is making it like the third brand and trying to get much fans to invest on the
Mhm.
NXT side. Overall, in general, I do feel that Dominic Mysterio losing the belt kind of sucked, and I think that kind of hurt them. I hope he still makes his way over to NXT. I enjoyed him being in the NXT world, but it looks like they probably are moving on and just focusing on him being there. What's up, Chad, as well? Thank you, sir, for being and for tuning in. With that being said, it's time. It's time for us to go ahead and jump on to the football side. And for this football side, we already have our special guest in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead, drum roll, please. I want you to go ahead and give a big round of applause to one of our best friends. I consider him one of my best friends, and very, very passionate Dolphin fan, just like we
Come on,
are.
baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, our homeboy DJ Big Al, tu gordito favorito. What's up, bro?
Ooh!
Making his
Los
making his
Parceros, what's cracking,
make,
fellas?
making his podcast debut on our
Look
show.
at
What's
that.
up? What's going on, sir?
a
You're you're
lot is going on. We,
well.
hey, look, I had you yesterday. I had you
Mhm.
pretty good yesterday when I told you that they were canceling the Hard Knocks episode
Oh
because
my
the
god, that was so
Dolphins
good.
basically took the entire week off and not prepared for the Tennessee Titans. They didn't record
Yes.
an episode. They didn't do anything. They hung out at home. They were just out partying at Live or whatever it is that they do. And yeah, that's basically.
You want to know what was cool though? The cool thing about Monday's football game, shout out again. I want to shout out Big Al, and me and my brother we're open books on the show, so we want to go ahead and let you guys know. So, me and my brother, we've been over the years parking at the stadium, but the last year or so we've been Ubering. So it has been a pain in the ass finding parking, and I didn't buy a parking pass on time. So what ended up happening is I had Big Al. I said, Big Al, is there any way you could hook me up, bro? Can you let me park at your house and I can take an Uber ride? Because the problem is when you are leaving the stadium, everybody's leaving. So getting an Uber ride or a Lyft ride is so difficult. And then my brother, he was in the training up north, so he was driving down. So to cut time, we needed to kind of like help him out as well because he had a long drive, like a 2-hour drive back up north as well. So it was like we were making moves left and right. And then thankfully at the end when the game was over, Big Al is calling me and my phone is dying. I'm like, I'm not answering his phone call because my phone's about to die. And he's like, yo, where you at? Where you at, fat ass? Where you at, Frank? And I'm like, dude, my phone's about to fucking die, bro. And he's like, dude, I'll just pick you up. And I was like, all right, cool. So thankfully, Big Al, shout out again. Thank you, sir, for picking us up at the last minute on Friday on Monday because we did have to wait, but we didn't have to wait like we usually wait. And
I
you
mean,
know,
for the record, y'all are like insane for like walking 2 miles away from the stadium.
well, the thing is, Big Al, like I told you, man, everybody's leaving at the same time. So if you're around the crowd, it's harder to get a lift or it's harder to get an Uber at like when everybody's around you. So we try to walk a little bit to try to avoid more Lyft drivers to just specifically get there and go with somebody else. Maybe we'll try something else, but like I said, it's just a pain in the butt. I gotta figure something out. We definitely gotta figure something out. Me and my brother, when it comes to the parking, or at least if we're taking some ride sharing, we gotta figure something out. But before we go into the in depth, I do want to show you guys a couple of things of last night, and obviously, Big Al, I want to see your react. I want to get your reaction as well, Nick as well. All of us are gonna react to this. I want to see what you guys thought about just the intros. And one of the things that the Miami Dolphins did, which was pretty cool for all of us, was the fact that they went ahead and they had a special type of introduction for the fans. So I just finished uploading this. I hope you guys are able to see it. Let me make this bigger.
Very nice, man. Very nice touch.
That's dope.
Yeah, so kind of to tell you guys what they exactly did was they basically gave us an actual one of those codes that you scan on your phone, and it basically links your phone to their system, and your phone would automatically light up the light on the back of it, and it would go along with the music of the Miami Dolphins. So that
Mm.
was pretty cool. They also gave out Miami Dolphin shirts, all of them that say 305. So that was pretty cool, that they did that. The other videos I wanted to show you guys was this one. Let me see if I could get this up. This was the one of the Dolphins touchdown with Zach Sealer. And let me see if you can see this. This is I kind of got this right on the spot. Like, it was really good.
Yeah, great action shot, bro. Great action shot.
This is when we were still happy.
Yeah. Drops back, and then man,
Ooh,
Sealer just
Look at that. That was just amazing. We
that
were
was
like,
dope.
yo, that was like right there on
I
the
mean,
spot.
you just said you were still happy. This you mean you being happy after 12 fumbles it on the 1 yard line? I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
I get it.
at
But,
least we at least we weren't losing at that time. At least we weren't choking. Like, it was
uh,
still 0-0, so it wasn't
man,
that
that
bad.
was a choke, by the way.
Oh,
Fumbling it on the 1 yard line, that's a choke.
we're gonna get to that. We're definitely
Okay, just putting it out there.
this was a close call right here. Oh, and he almost had that pick. And then the very last video, your
I think he
boy
only had
Raheem
1 foot
Mostert.
inbound on that one, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
he only
he
had
got
one
it.
foot inbound.
And then Raheem Mostert right here with the touchdown.
My boy right there, bro. That's my guy.
So very, very cool, very cool from the live action that we did over there at the Hard Rock Stadium before we actually choked like sorry for my cursing, but we choked like bitches, bro. So the Dolphins lose 20-27. Let's go around. We're gonna start with our guest, Big Al. Talk to me about
Look,
last night.
are,
What did you think
are
about
you hitting the
last
panic
night?
button yet? Let's start with that.
You're
Look,
asking me or
my
you're asking my
issue.
brother or both of
No,
us?
I'm asking you. We'll start with
Okay,
you. Are you hitting the panic button yet?
I'm not hitting a panic button yet. Am I concerned? Yes, but I'm not panicking. The only time I'll start to panic is if the Jets beat us. That's when I will start. I'm not panic. I'll start freaking out. I'll be like, okay, I might have to, you know, do something, do some brujeria, go to Hialeah and do some brujeria and do something to help the Dolphins win. Because right now, bro, I'm nervous. I think the Jets having Zach Wilson is gonna make this game a little bit more difficult because the guy can move. And I think the reason why the Dolphins were successful against the Jets the first time was because they had the third string quarterback who stuck himself on the pocket. He wouldn't move around. So because of him not moving around, he's able to go ahead and sack his ass. And remember, we had Jalen Phillips, we had Chubb. They work really well together. This time around, we don't have Jalen Phillips. You saw we only had one sack the whole game against the Titans. And now you got Zach Wilson, who's running around, which is the same crap that Levy was doing on Monday. He was running around avoiding the sacks. That's why I think this game is going to be very, very tricky. And if you remember with the Jets game, the only thing that was the complete, like, what changed the game around was when Javon Holland took that pick and took it to the house right before halftime. I don't even think Javon Holland's going to play on Sunday. So yeah,
I
I'm
actually
concerned.
saw him on Crowder and Hawk Show today. It looks like he's really pushing for. He might be back.
He better. What about you, Nick? What do you think?
What do you think? Is it time to panic or not yet?
Um, I don't want to say panic. I just want to say concerned. Um, I'll probably panic. Probably when if we see the Jets and the Cowboys beat the Dolphins. And
Yeah.
if the Bills beat the Cowboys and then we lose against the Cowboys, that's where I'm gonna be like,
There's
oh man, it's a little tough because the Dolphins and the Bills kind of have like a similar situation right now. They both host the Cowboys, and it's pretty much back to back. So um, right now, I'm just concerned. I think this is just a wake up call. We got a little bit too overconfident. But to keep it short, no panic yet. No panic.
there's a team in the NFL that has gotten their shit together, and that team is with their bitch, and we know who we're talking about, obviously, aka Buffalo. If Buffalo beats Dallas, I'm telling you right now, that's what's gonna happen to us. It's gonna be
so
that simple
so
because
you're not
it's gonna be as simple as we can win out, we can win out, and Buffalo can win out. And last game of the season is against Buffalo. They beat us. We get that middle finger emoji.
well no well check this out. I'm gonna do it in just a minute. I'm gonna do a NFL predictor, and we're gonna go over what scenarios could happen. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys three different scenarios of the Dolphins. One where they miss the playoffs, one where they can still make the playoffs but win the division, and then a third one is actually winning it all, obviously, or getting the number one overall. But now, Big
You
Al,
know,
are
obviously
you
off rip. Hold on. Off rip. Let's realize who we're playing and who Buffalo is playing for everybody that's living in another planet right now. So we got the Jets, we got Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
um,
And
and
then we're hosting
Buffalo.
those. Yeah,
Okay, the only advantage that we have is that three of those four games are home,
correct.
which home field advantage and that we haven't lost at home. That's already that's out the window. That doesn't even matter anymore.
yep
Okay, now Buffalo has Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
They got the Chargers
At Chargers, yes.
without
at
Herbert?
Chargers without Herbert. They got the Patriots
Yeah, they actually host the Patriots.
and they got the Dolphins. So who's
Correct.
got an easier schedule?
Oh no, definitely Buffalo. Buffalo went through the rougher patch already, and we're kind of now on the end stick of our rougher patch. So I mean, I did see
Buffalo's
that
gotten their shit together.
we have the second hardest schedule in the NFL. We're tied with New York Giants. They have a hard schedule too, and Baltimore has the number one hardest remaining schedule in the NFL right now. So we have to see. We just have to keep an eye on what's going on
But
with
now,
everyone else.
but now let me ask you this: you asked us the question, we answered. Are you in panic mode right now?
190,000% yes.
Wow. Okay, tell us why. Why are you panicking?
Buffalo. That's simple. If
Okay, but
Buffalo wins this week, I'm telling you right now, it's a middle finger emoji for us. We're done.
I mean, damn.
That's too
I would.
quick.
There's no.
That's too
It's
quick,
gonna
Big Al.
be like you can't physically think we're possibly gonna go 4-0 the rest of the season.
Of course we can. Of course we can. We can, bro. Yes, we can.
To Baltimore
We can
to
Bro, did you see Baltimore? They barely squeezed the win against the Rams, and it was at Baltimore. They needed a special
overtime
teams
too.
touchdown overtime.
Yep.
I mean, we can't big out. Every team is injured right now. Every
And
team is depleted. We
and
have
we
to.
and we beat Baltimore last year at Baltimore.
We were a little bit more strength back then, but yes, we did defeat Baltimore. So, do I think we're gonna go 4-0? It's not 100%,
Baltimore
but
and
we
Dallas. You're
can.
saying we can Buffalo, Baltimore and Dallas. Like it's gonna be like nothing. It's gonna be like us playing the Titans, where you
Who?
know, assuming we would have played a perfect game, we would have blown them out. Let's just get that out in the open.
But what?
No,
Let me ask you this.
th-
Let me
but
ask you this because this is the situation here. If Buffalo beats the Cowboys, right? The next game is us on Christmas. So they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. Now, Dallas usually struggles on the road. They're a better home team. But
Yeah.
if we're able to take a look, if we handle our business, let's do that. Let's handle our business first. Let's beat the Jets, right? If we beat the Jets, that's one step in the right direction. After that, we could actually focus on the Cowboys and see what they bring to the table. Now, it is a nationally televised game. Remember, I think there's only going to
Oh
be
my
three
God! Of all things, it could have been a 1 o'clock game.
games.
Hashtag no pressure to a.
It,
Sorry.
it is a nationally televised game. I think there's only three games that day, that Sunday. But you're right, it is, and you know how we choke. We are not, or not choke. I'm not gonna jump that far
we
as
got too
to say
confident,
We
man. We
play
got too
shitty.
confident.
We play
right,
shitty when it counts, when it matters.
exactly.
We can't
And
play. We can't play anything on prime time. Nothing on Sunday night football. We can't win against games that count like the Chiefs or or the Eagles or anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so let me do this. I'm gonna pull this up, and I want to bring this
Let's
on because
go. Let's go over the game.
yeah. Oh, okay, okay. So let's go over this game, and then we'll go over the NFL predictions and see the playoff scenario. So first, we'll go around. We'll start with Nick. Nick, talk to me. What did you like about the game? What didn't you like about the game? And your overall perspective of the Dolphins right now.
It was a team collapse. When it comes to the offensive side, it seemed like when Tyreek Hill went down, it looks like Tua doesn't really know or have enough confidence to throw the ball to his second guy like Jalen Waddle. Um, the O line was kind of getting beaten a little bit. They allowed 5 sacks throughout the whole game. A lot of quarterback pressures. Um, One thing I do have to criticize about Mike McDaniel, he does a lot right, but a couple of things that he does wrong is that he likes to pass a lot when we're out of the red zone. I believe we kind of have the highest yards per carry when it comes to the rushing. We have a running back that actually tied Ricky Williams' Dolphins record in 16 touchdowns in one season. So I think we need to realize, and Mike McDaniel needs to realize that the run game is working. Um, and right now, Robert Jones, Lester Cotton, and even
I
this
have the
guy.
online is out though.
True, but mind you, we have a good group of men who still came through with the run game. I mean, if we look, we know that
Eagles is a
we
beast, dude.
kind of got lucked out a little. I don't want to say lucked out. Our odds were are the some things went our way. The fumble on the punt, the horrible throw between Will Levis and giving it to Keen Henry. I get it. That was kind of like it fell under onto our feet, but we still needed a score, and we ran it, and it went and it came through. But then this is where I think Vic Fangio, which he's the I think the highest paid defensive coordinator right now in the NFL. This is where he needed to. This is where we put his Dolphins money into his mindset and be like, all right, it's time for you to finish this game, and for him to go ahead and just ease off the pedal. And I also heard that Bradley Chubb, I don't know if this is true or not, but he also had agreed that some of the teammates kind of eased off on the pedal and said, "Oh, okay, let's just kind of like ease off a little bit." And I think that's one thing I have to criticize. Tua did not. I don't want to say Tua played a horrible game. I just didn't think he played a game that we usually see him play. Um,
Did you see? So to stop you right there, did you see how the Tennessee quarterback was acting? I've never seen Tua act that way once in his career. Period. The
what?
tenacity, the I got you by the balls, bitch. I scored on you once. I'm gonna come right back and fucking do the same thing right back at you. He's never had that tenacity. That's one of the things that I think Tua lacks. Tua doesn't have that drive. I mean, I guess so. Are we putting this? Let's go around the chat real
Well,
quick.
but
Who are
wait,
we
hold on,
putting
hold
this
on,
on?
hold on. So, Nick, we got your perspective of what happened, what you feel happened on Monday. Talk to me, you Big Al. What did you think about Monday? What did you like? What you didn't like? And what's your overall perspective of the Dolphins right now?
I think it was a complete team debacle. Everybody from coaches, from the defensive coordinator, playing 30 feet, 30 yards away. Like, bro, is it even possible to score 2 touchdowns in 3 minutes in Madden? Is that even possible in the video game?
Should we
Because I
ask?
mean, we obviously saw it's available in real life, but is it like a reality? Like, can that really happen in a video game?
Yeah, I
You,
can.
I'm asking you specifically because you would probably know.
Yeah, yeah, of course I can.
You think so?
Yeah, of course. Didn't I do that to you when we played Madden? Didn't I score like back
Not
to back
not
in
not
like
not,
like
not
in a
back to
minute?
back like that. No, that was a little different. That didn't work out that way. So yeah, it was a complete team debacle from special teams with a freaking block punt to our offensive line fumbling the ball. I mean, in reality, if you start thinking about how many points we left on there over stupid decisions that the team and or the coaches made, there should have easily been something similar to like the Washington game. There should have been, a 44 to 20 blowout. easy, like without even trying, just cleaning up stupid mistakes
Mm-hmm.
from Bradley Chubb slamming the helmet and
That's
them
true.
scoring their first touchdown out of it to Tua fumbling on the 1 yard line to getting the field goal blocked to I mean, should I keep going or is that enough pain infliction right there?
Well, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what I think of the game. So number one, I was disappointed with the offense in general because everybody says that the Miami Dolphins needs to run the football. The Dolphins need to run the football. The Dolphins need to run. I agree that the Dolphins should run the football in the red zone mostly because if you look at the stats, Raheem Mostert had 21 carries. Devon Achane had 7 carries. That's close to 30 carries in total from those two guys. If you compare it to the Titans, Derrick Henry only had 17 carries. Spears, their other running back, had 7. So there were what, like somewhere around mid 20, like 24, 25, somewhere around there. So there's not a big gap between one and the other. If you look and you put into perspective the Miami Dolphins and the Titans and who ran and who didn't run, they ran the same. Like they were pretty
Nah.
much doing. I'm
Bro,
talking about as
Henry,
far
like,
I'm talking about as far as carries is concerned.
Oh,
Carries,
carries, yes,
yes.
but
Now,
yards per carry was a complete different story.
obviously, yes, the Dolphins were more
nobody saw that
successful.
coming either.
No, no, because well, we kind of assumed that the Dolphins were going to focus on stopping Derrick Henry because that's their bread and butter. That's who they rely on. Here's the issue. Here's the issue. I think the Dolphins did struggle in not running the football in the end zone. When they're in the red zone, they need to do that because they scored 2 touchdowns when they did were in the red zone. They ran them instead of throwing them, and we did leave points on the table by kicking those field goals. Number two is I've already said this, and a lot of people are not gonna like it, but I obviously feel that Tua is limited. Tua Tagovailoa is a very good quarterback. He's better than most of the quarterbacks out there, but unfortunately, for Tua to be successful, everything needs to fall perfect in his shoe, in his path. He needs to have Tyreek healthy. He needs to have Waddle healthy. That's what I'm starting to get from Tua, and I'll tell you why. The Dolphins were not able to modify their strategy once Tyreek got hurt. Once Tyreek got hurt, it was like they were blundering left and right. And a lot of people are always asking, "Hey, where's Chase Claypool? Where's Chosen? Where's Braxton Berrios? Where's all these guys?" I mean, I don't know what the Dolphins are doing as far as like putting it a priority to get these guys involved in these different routes, or if they just go ahead and say, fuck it, we're just gonna go and do just Tyreek. I don't know. I think in that perspective, I think Mike McDaniel needs to improve. And that's what I've always said. And I've mentioned to you guys when we've had these conversations in private, is that Mike McDaniel has a plan A. Whenever plan A fucks up and he can't get that shit together,
We're fucked.
we're fucked. He doesn't have a plan B. He doesn't know how to change it up. And that's the difference between having a good coach and a Super Bowl coach. Because you have to be able to change your plan when things are not going right. And I think that's the problem that Mike McDaniel needs to resolve. Now, am I gonna go ahead and blame everything on him? No. You want to know why? Because of what I am saying. Tua is limited. So what can he do? What can Mike McDaniel do with a limited quarterback to develop a plan B, a plan B
Oh, he
in order
run the
for the
ball.
offense.
Sorry.
No, you want to know why? Because when the Dolphins run the football, right, third down, the second to the drive where the Dolphins were up by 6, and they just needed to get a first down right before the 2-minute warning. They ran the football with Raheem Mostert, and he got 2 or 3 yards. They ran the ball with Devon Achane. He got 1 yard, and then
He
they had to
fucked up the game. I'm
and then they
sorry.
and then they had to throw the ball and they missed it. And then that's when they had to punt the ball back to Tennessee. So if
Bro,
you're so
HM had that first down. As opposed to getting out of bounds, if he would have ran straight,
no, 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 not
he would
not
have
that
got it.
not that drive, not that drive. We're talking about the drive before the one
Oh,
the one that they were still up by 6. In that one, if you look at that drive, that's exactly what they did. They ran the first down and second down, and then in the third down, they passed the ball and he couldn't get the first down. So they had to punt it back to the Titans. And that's the problem. So if you're going to go ahead and rely on the running game, it's not going to always work because of the simple fact that they're going to pinpoint everything and be like, okay, hold on a second. Our four guys, we don't have to go and do a pass rush. Did you see the Titans blitzing left and right? No, they were getting in there with four guys. I know that Chad says, hey, we had 100 yards by halftime. I get that. But even with 100 yards, how many times did you see Raheem Mostert or Devon Achane score a touchdown with those 100 yards? You didn't. You didn't. And my issue is, yes, you could rely on the running game, but people are gonna pinpoint this crap, man. If you got the Jets, let's say that are coming up next, you have the four guys up there. They don't need no blitzing, man, and they could stop the run. And then what? What you're gonna do? You have to rely on the quarterback, and that's why I'm telling you, Mike McDaniel has to develop some type of plan B besides running the football. You have that. This is where we miss a tight end. That's why I miss Gasecki. He sucked in blocking, but he was marvelous in catching. The other thing I want to say is I blame also Vic Fangio more than Mike McDaniel because Vic Fangio is the veteran coach. He has been a head coach before. He's been in the league as a defensive coordinator. Everybody, he's getting paid as a more than Mike McDaniel. So I'm gonna put the blame. So I'm not gonna just blame Mike McDaniel like other people are saying. I'm gonna blame each one of them. But if there's people have to go ahead and put a little bit more of the blame, I'm gonna give it to Tua. I'm also gonna give it to Vic Fangio. Those two guys dropped the ball in particular because they didn't have an answer. They didn't have
Mike
an answer.
McDaniel, Mike McDaniel needs to stop doing those bubble screens, man. It ain't working, bro. It ain't working. Like that shit is not working. And what the chat is saying is true. I mean, why would you just put one person on Hopkins? That boy is gonna eat. And then obviously we were in that red zone the first couple of times and we just kept throwing the ball. Just run the ball. Like you said, if it's red zone, run the ball. And even if it's on the open field, if it's working, it's working. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but the Dolphins ran successfully on the left hand side of the O line, and on the right hand side, it was kind of like a struggle. So if you noticed, the right hand side of the O line was where that was the sack that ended the game pretty much. So it was a collective loss. I rather have this loss now and not towards a Baltimore game or the Buffaloes game. So I rather just have this kind of, reevaluate, make the adjustments, and move forward, bro.
Do you guys agree with Chad's comment here? He says McDaniel's fully to blame. We should have been up by 2 touchdowns by halftime. Do you agree with that?
Easily, easily.
I don't agree with that.
I
You,
think
you
I
don't
have
think
to
it would have
blame.
been
I
by
think
two
I have to
touchdowns
blame.
without any half of the mistakes?
Look, if you
Like,
go
look,
ahead,
if you were on the freaking 1 yard line, and I think he fumbled it on third down, and he threw it on first and second, as opposed to just running it all three downs. That's 7 points off rip.
yeah,
That
but this
field
is
goal,
but this is the thing. If you go ahead and you run the football in the red zone the first time around, I'm pretty sure the Titans would have adjusted and done something. I know they didn't do it in the second half, but I know they would have done something. So it was going to cancel one or the other. I don't think
but
they were
see, you
going to be
scored
able to.
twice like that, dude. Like, what makes you think that they're going to change it?
I'm telling you.
If we scored twice without them changing it, so I mean, you keep running it until they freaking start adjusting, and then you adjust from it.
Well,
I think
yes,
I think I
agree.
think we gotta
So,
blame Tua, man. We gotta blame Tua. He's the guy who's under center. He's the one who has the best view. If he has to kill that play and say, "Yo, McDaniel, I'm not running that shit. I'm gonna do something else." Be a man about it. You're the quarterback, bro. Just do it, you know. And I don't if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the type of relationship McDaniel and Tua have. Hey, what do you
yeah,
think about this play? Oh no, let's run this play instead. Oh, you want to do this play? Fuck it, let's do it. You know, so it's a collective blame, man, and it was a beautiful disaster, bro. It was pretty tough to kind of like eat that loss.
have
And then you
have
you
we?
gotta give and let me ask you something, Big Al. What would you think would have been would you think people will eat up more Tua if he would have thrown a pick that last drive, risking it, throwing it
Oh,
like or is he still gonna get equally blamed as if he got the sack at the last drive?
he missed so many throws, bro. He missed so many throws.
Because he's a spot thrower. He's a spot
Yeah, but
thrower.
he was just off.
But
Like
that's the issue with the
that
Dolphins.
arm to HN. Like where he overthrew it. The even the short pass
Yeah,
game,
but
he
people are
was
saying,
overthrowing.
that one where Devon A. Chain missed the ball, it was because he slowed down.
Yeah, he hesitated because he looked back supposedly.
I'm telling you right now,
Okay, and
man.
then what about the short passes where he overthrew them as well?
You remember that pass where he threw it and Waddle wasn't nowhere, like Waddle was completely the opposite side or something like that, and then it almost got picked off, and you're like, what the hell is he doing? That is a reflection of him. This offense is ran by timing and by you being at this particular spot at the time that the ball's supposed to get there. When that timing is completely off, Tua struggles. I like Tua. The guy's very talented. The guy's accurate. The problem with Tua is he doesn't read the actual coverages. He just goes based on his routes. And his first read is, hey, I'm whoever's my first guy. Tyreek, okay, I'm gonna he's supposed to be able to beat that cornerback or that safety or that linebacker, whoever's guarding him. Perfect. That's what he needs to do. He is not like a Tom Brady. He is not like a Joe Burrow, a Patrick Mahomes that you adjust. When people say, "Hey, he turns his head around and he does this," he's only manipulating the safeties in the corners. He's not reading the other reads. He doesn't go to the second or third, fourth read. He doesn't. He's doing a better job with his check down. When he sees that nobody's open, he'll throw it to Achen or Raheem Mostert. But he doesn't develop that. And what separates, a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Joe Burrow, not so much Joe Burrow, but at least a Patrick Mahomes and a Josh Allen than Tua is that this guy too, the one from the Baltimore Ravens, um,
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, is that they're able to run outside the pocket and make a play. Tua's not like that. Tua is in the pocket. So Tua has to be
Yeah.
accurate. Tua needs everything to be perfect for him or as close to perfect. That way he could be successful. That's what I'm realizing with Tua. I wish Tua could read. That's why my train of thought when it comes to Tua, I get upset because I thought he was getting better and better. And I was like, okay, this guy's probably starting to read coverages, but he's not. He's still doing the stupid spot throwing, which upsets me. I wish Mike McDaniel would teach him and be like, "Hey, look, read this coverage. It's a cover three." You want to know how you could read? A quarterback has a really good set of reading coverages when they start audible. When they do an audible, when they start doing hot routes and stuff like Patrick, Peyton Manning used to do. That guy read coverages. That's why he would call those hot routes. That's why he would do this, they would do that, because of the simple fact he'd be like, oh, snap, this is a cover two. Oh, snap, this is man-to-man coverage. That's how a quarterback excels. That's how you know that, hey, look, this guy, this quarterback we have is legit. Tua, he's very good, but he's not the legit. Can we still win a Super Bowl with him? Of course we can.
Really?
But we need everything to be perfect for him to be successful. That's my honest opinion.
So you really think we could win a Super Bowl with Tua?
Yes.
Yeah.
If everybody's healthy and we have the right pieces in the right places, yes.
When was the last time you were drug tested, sir?
Say that again. What?
When was the last time you were drug tested?
Sir, I say no
Dude,
to
you
drugs,
are
man.
high up out your mind, dude. I'm telling you right now, he's not the answer. He's
No.
close. He's a
Man,
solid backup.
if Joe
He's a
Flacco can win a
solid
Super
backup.
Bowl,
Huh?
if
Yeah,
Joe
but
Flacco can win a Super Bowl,
Nick, the Joe Flacco's this guy, the guy from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bradshaw, whatever, Brad, I forgot his name, that were like semi quarterbacks. They had sick defenses. The Miami Dolphins, they don't have sick defense right now. They're hurting. They're hurting. Javon Holland is hurt, so it's hurting our safeties. Well, now we got Deshaun Elliott and the concussion protocol. So now we got Brandon Jones and who Eli Apple, I think, out there. And then we got Jalen Phillips hurt. Now we have to rely on Van Ginkel. And remember what happened to Van Ginkel this week? They had a plan for him. So exactly happened that same week when Jalen Phillips got hurt and they put Van Ginkel. He was successful that first game, and then the second game he disappeared. Why? Because teams adjust, and that is my concern. People are adjusting on the Dolphins, and if you can't come up with a better plan B, we're screwed, man. Offensively, you're screwed. We have to rely on our defense. And if Vic Fangio gets overconfident or doesn't give a damn, and it's just like whatever, that's when we start to lose games like we did on Monday. Brad Johnson, thank you, Chad.
What's up with Jerome Baker? What's the status on him?
He is not. He was placed on IR, but he's supposed to come back. Hopefully, if we make it to the playoffs.
He's supposed to expect to be back by the Baltimore game, if not Bills game.
I mean,
So
I think best case scenario probably Bills. I don't think he'll make it to
the
the Baltimore game.
the magic $1 million question: who's the MVP of this team?
Oh,
Tyreek,
it's Tyreek all day. We know
Tyreek.
that.
So we can put it to rest that Tua is not the MVP.
No, Tua's not the MVP. He's talented. He's not the reason why the Dolphins are not winning either. I'm not just gonna blame him. He is part of the blame. Everybody has a part of the blame for what happened on Monday. But I'm not focusing so much on, yo, whose fault is it? I'm trying to focus on what can we do to not let this happen again on us. Because if we keep losing, we might be out of
It's
the
just
playoffs.
it's simple as what we're used to,
All right.
aka
Let's do the
the inconsistency with this team.
Yeah. Well, look, check
so
this out. Oh, go
so
ahead,
Big
Nick.
Al.
Go ahead.
What do you think? What do you think is the final verdict? Then do you think this was a team collapse, or do you have someone you have to blame? What do you think?
No, this goes on everybody because everybody messed up in one way or another, from special
I agree.
teams to the coach to the defensive coordinator to certain players, etc., etc., etc. It's like, I mean, did you guys see what that locker room was like on Hard Knocks?
They
Like
didn't
it was.
they didn't show that much about it. They
No,
really
but it
didn't.
was it was pretty fucking quiet in there.
All right, so let's do this. Let's transition to this to the playoff scenario. So if you look at, and I hope you guys can see as well what I'm showing you guys. So on the left hand side right here, we have the
Give me
standings.
one quick sec, guys. Hold on.
All right, no worries. While Big is doing something here, Nick. In the meantime, uh, on the left hand side is the division, right? You have the divisions, and then we are on week 14, and then we have obviously everybody, and on the right hand side you got the NFC as well. We could just kind of pick and choose who we think is going to win. So this week, right? This week, let's assume, and this is why I'm concerned about the Dolphins. Let on this scenario that we're going to do, we're going to assume that the Miami Dolphins, I'm sorry, this is week 14. So let me jump into the next week. There you go. Week 15. So let's assume that in the next game, the next four games, the Miami Dolphins lose. Let's say they do a choke job and they just completely choke, right? They
Mm-hmm.
already have 9 wins. So
Mm-hmm.
if we put the Jets to win, right? Between the Chargers and the Raiders, who this Thursday, who do you guys think is gonna win?
In my opinion, I think the Raiders, they're gonna capitalize.
Okay, so we got the
Justin Herbert not being there.
okay Pittsburgh Steelers and the Colts. What do you
I think the Colts are gonna come with that, bro.
think? Yeah, I agree. I think the Colts will win this one.
Kenny Pickett right now is banged up, so no.
Yeah, Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. I say the Houston Texans are able to. Right, we agree on that. Texans.
Watch out, man. I think the Titans are a lot better team than we thought, man.
Mm, what do you got?
That quarterback showed some heart, bro.
All right, Big Al. Now that you're back, what do you think? Texans or Tennessee Titans? Who do you think wins next this week coming up? Who wins the game?
If I'm betting, I'm gonna go on. I'm betting on the Texans.
Okay, so and so am I. So we'll pick the Texans. Baltimore and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville's at home. And what do you guys think? Baltimore wins or Jacksonville?
I think Jacksonville's gonna surprise, man. I think Jacksonville's gonna squeeze out a win with this one. They lost. They've been having a bad drought. I think they have a chip on their shoulder. I see the Jacksonville Jaguars bouncing back
Al,
at this
what do
game.
you think? Jags or Baltimore?
Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jaguars just because they're playing at home.
Okay. All right. So we'll go. I was going with Baltimore, but two outweighs one. And then you got Kansas City, New England. We agree Kansas City is gonna win that one. All right. Then we're just gonna try to like go through this quickly. So Bears and Browns, Denver and
I don't
Lions.
know.
That's a close
Chicago
one.
look good, bro.
Who, Denver and the Lions. Who do you think, guys? They're
Oh,
playing
I
at
think
Denver.
Denver, man. I think Detroit right now is kind of like in a little funk. I think they're going through the same thing that kind of like what the Dolphins were going through last year.
All right, Big Al, Denver or Detroit? What do you think?
Detroit.
Yeah, they're playing at home, so we all go with
Yep.
Detroit. Vikings and
Okay.
Bengals. That's a close one.
Um,
Um,
uh, this guy, what's his name?
Hmm.
Brown. Browning. His last name is. He's been playing really good football. Cincinnati all day.
I'll go with
Jake
Cincinnati
Browning. Jake
because
Browning.
Yeah.
Burrow's not. Even though it's in Cincinnati, I still think the Vikings might pull it off. So we'll go with the Vikings. Uh, this is the other game. So Cowboys and Bills. Let's for good sakes on this one, we're gonna say that Buffalo runs the table. So we're gonna pick Buffalo beating them. Let's not worry about the NFC right now, or I'll just quickly pick. Let's see, Carolina, Green Bay,
Falcons.
actually Buccaneers,
Tampa.
the Saints, the Niners. We'll say LA Rams, and we'll say the Eagles. Okay, so then after that week, if those are the clear results right now, right, the actual standings for the playoffs would be the Dolphins would be in fourth place with 9-5. So we would still be on the division, but we would be down, right? We would drop from second to fourth. So
Wow.
let's move on to the next week. And this is if the Dolphins lose against the Jets. So now moving on. So Jets and Browns, let's say the Jets win. Raiders and Colts.
Colts.
Colts. Okay, we'll go with Colts. Let's
Yeah.
pick that the Dolphins lose against Baltimore. Buffalo will win. Tennessee and Texans. Let's Texans. Kansas City.
I think you're
Let's
on week 16 because that's I think you skipped week
This is
14.
week 17.
yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry,
week
week
17. Yeah, so this is the week after. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
because we have the Cowboys
Oh,
game
because we got
before.
the Cowboys game. Hold on, let me go up. Let me go up. It's not a big deal. All right, here we go. So Bengals and Steelers.
Bengals, bro, all
Bengals,
day.
okay. Buffalo beats the Chargers. Texans and Browns.
Texans.
Texans, Patriot, and this one, Kansas City. Let's say the Jets beat them. Falcons win.
Colts.
Seattle.
Jaguars.
Jacksonville. Okay, here Dolphins and Cowboys. Let's say the Dolphins lose, right? We're going with the scenario that the Dolphins are going to lose every single game until the end, right?
And San
Th-
Francisco beats the Baltimore Ravens.
Oof, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's a
And
pretty
then
good game.
yeah, that's a good game for this week. And that's on Monday night too. And then let's say
Mm.
Saints. Let's pick the Packers, Detroit, well, actually the Browns because the Cardinals have been sucking, and the Eagles. And then we're gonna just try to go through each week quick because I don't want to keep showing the standings. I'm gonna show the standings at the end. This one we had already picked all the way to here. This is with the Dolphins losing to Baltimore, Denver, and the Chargers. Who do you think would win this game? They're playing at Denver. This is 2 weeks from now.
I think Denver's gonna choke Chargers.
Remember, no Justin Herbert for the rest of the season.
It's hard for me to see all those home teams win. There's always gonna be a choke artist.
Al, you agree?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why
so
not?
we go with Chargers. All right,
Yeah.
we'll go with Chargers. Jacksonville wins. Seattle wins. And this one we'll just do quickly. We'll say the Cowboys win. Eagles. Rams, San Fran. We'll pick this one. We'll pick the Falcons, and then we'll pick the Vikings. And then the last week, which would be week 18. Okay, so now before we pick week 18, with the results that we have, and this is the Dolphins be losing already 3 in a row, right? Losing to the Jets, the Cowboys, and the Baltimore Ravens. This is the current. This would be the current standings. The Dolphins would be number 8 out of the playoffs already. And the Buffalo Bills would already be
Number
on
4.
number 4. So we would
So
be
then we
fighting
can we can agree we can agree
that last game would be for
the division.
the division and to be in the playoffs. Technically,
But
because we don't have the break, we don't have the it looks like we don't have the tiebreaker on the Colts, the Texans, or the Browns, and we didn't play any of those 3 teams this year.
yeah, because I think the Colts and the Browns and the Texans are facing teams that um I guess stronger. I guess
Now
put
let's
put 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 on the last week. Put that the Dolphins win against the Buffalo Bills. Would they clinch the division?
put here. Well, then let me pick all the games. So Jets beat the Patriots, right? Some way, somehow the Jets win it because the Patriots are trying to suck.
They
Um,
haven't beaten the Patriots since
that's true.
2015, so I
That's
don't
the
know
only
about that.
reason. But let's just say the Jets pull it off.
Zappy
Ba-
with 3 touchdowns, baby. I don't know.
Baltimore, let's say Bengals. Let's put here Colts upset them. Let's say Jags win. Kansas City, Denver, Tampa, Dallas, Philly. Let's say Lions, Green Bay, Saints, Seattle, and San Fran. Okay, so this is with the Dolphins
Beating Buffalo.
beating Buffalo. The standings would be us. We would finish in
Winning the
fourth.
division. All
We would
right.
be winning
Wow.
the division.
All right. So we just
That's
gotta
if we
get the
go.
job done. I guess gotta get the job done against the Bills then.
That's if the Dolphins lose all three games coming up, and then we have that Buffalo game, and
And
Buffalo
that's
wins every single
mm-hmm.
game.
Yep.
Okay, now
But,
let's do.
that doesn't mean Buffalo's out.
Well, this would be the result if the Dolphins beat Buffalo.
Correct, but
Week 18.
that would just mean we win the division. But
Buffalo
also
would be out. They would be number 7.
they would
Oh,
be seven.
actually, wait, hold on a second. No,
When they get the wild card.
We would go
Buffalo would be.
against we
We,
would go against the Texans.
we would go against the Colts.
Oh, the Colts. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. 'Cause
So it would
Jacksonville will
be
go against Buffalo. So
yeah.
yeah, Buffalo will still be able to make it.
We'll still
Now,
be in.
now let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go a little bit more realistic on the Dolphin side. Let's say, for example, and I know we're taking a little bit too much of time here, but I kind of wanted to go through this with you guys. Let's say that back in the Dolphins Jets game, right? The Dolphins win that game, right? This is how important it is for that Dolphins Jets game, right? So the Dolphins win that game, right? And then let's put on here that the Dolphins lose against the Buffalo Bills. Where would they stand? Let's see.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dolphins would be number 6. So see, just winning one game, we would still make the playoffs. So we need to win this Jets game. We need this Jets win. I mean, we need to beat the Jets, bro. Because at least we still make the
So
playoffs.
at this point, you're completely fine just getting into the playoffs and a middle finger emoji to having the number one seed and having home field and
At this
getting a 1 round bye. At
at
this
this
point, you're okay just getting in.
at this point, yes, Big Al, because what they showed me on Monday, I have no confidence in them right now. I don't. I just want them to get in because once you're in the playoffs, Tua has never been in the playoffs. So it could, and we were in a dogfight last year with Buffalo in Buffalo, and we had Skyler. So with Tua, I think I believe Tua definitely better than Skyler, and he's better in the system. So on the road or at home, I still think the Dolphins have a really good shot at beating them, at beating whoever they have to, and they would have to face against who? They would have to go against
The
the
Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens, which
Let,
go ahead,
let's say the Dolphins for, get
tell
the
me.
job done and they beat the Jets and the Cowboys, but then they lose their last 2 games between the Ravens and the
Okay,
Bills.
so let's use that scenario. So the Dolphins beat Baltimore, right?
No, beat
Um,
Cowboys, but lose
I'm
their
sorry.
last two
Okay,
games. So they win their
okay,
next two
so
games and then they lose their last 2 games.
yeah, so okay. So let me go back to the Cowboys game. So Dolphins beat Cowboys, then they lose to Baltimore, and then they lose to the Buffalo Bills. Okay, so the standings would be, let's see, moment of truth. The Dolphins would be fifth
Fifth.
with
Oh
an
wow!
11
So
and
we would go to
with,
Buffalo again.
and we would play Buffalo if we go two
Holy
and
shit!
two. Can you believe that? You see why? You
Rematch,
see
baby,
why?
rematch.
You see why this is so like this Titans loss was such a like a fuck up, like a big blunder on the Dolphin side. Now let's say for example, the Dolphins are able to go and for some miraculous reason, right? Let's say that they win all their home games. You know, they learned their lesson. They said, "Hey, we've won every single one. So we beat the Jets. we beat the Cowboys. We lose to Baltimore because it's on the road, and then we beat Buffalo. So we win all of our home games. We go 3-0 at home. We gain our confidence back. We would win our
Fourth seed.
division. We would be 12-5, and we would be going up against the Indianapolis Colts here in Miami.
So
Now
if we
let's
win, if we go 4-0, out
Oh,
of curiosity,
okay. Let's do
do we
that
get
then.
the number one seed?
And again,
it
this is
depends. It
the
depends on the other decisions though.
all right. So let's do this. So let's say the Dolphins win. They go 4-0. They beat Baltimore, right? And
Oh
now,
wow.
and again, we're using the matrix of Baltimore scenario. So we got to focus on Baltimore because Baltimore's there, and we got to focus on Kansas City because those are the next two guys right behind us, and Jacksonville. So in this week, who do we have? Baltimore playing. Who the hell is Baltimore playing next
I guess
week?
they have a bye week that day. Oh no, they play against the Jags right there. Jags in Baltimore.
Jags. Oh, okay, yeah. So we have that the Jags are going to upset them. Let's use the scenario that they don't. Let's say Baltimore figures out a way to beat Jags over there, especially since Justin Herbert, not Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence is having issues. So let's say he wins. We obviously know Kansas City is gonna beat New England. So let's leave that right. Then let's go to the next week.
You never know, man. Maybe Patriots wanna leave a great
No, man,
story
get out
with
of
Bill Belichick leaving
here. Get out of here. No. When it comes, so then Baltimore is playing. Who's Baltimore playing the following week? They're
San
playing.
Francisco right here.
Oh, okay, you see it. Do you guys? I mean, it's hard
No
for us,
shot.
and
Baltimore's
they're
losing.
and they're playing in San Fran
You
on a
got
Yeah,
Monday
Brock
they're
night.
not.
Purdy on a roll
Yeah,
right
I
now,
don't.
bro. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Damn, that would that
they're
would that
not.
would that would be a hell of a win for them if they're able to pull that off. Okay, the Kansas City against the Raiders. That's a close one. That because the Raiders are a
Eh,
divisional opponent, bro, and they like to give the Chiefs a run for their money. And let's say I'm gonna say that the
If it
Raiders.
was in Las Vegas, I would think differently. Considering it's in KC, it's not gonna happen.
Nick, you think so?
I don't think the Kansas City's gonna lose against
Okay,
Oakland.
all right.
I mean,
And
Las Vegas.
and then the other one is Tampa Bay and the Jags. The
That's a
Tampa Bay
that's a
Buccaneers.
that's a that's a state Florida Florida football state match.
Yeah, like a
I don't
Florida
know. That could be
rivalry.
a toss up, bro. That could be a toss up to be honest with
Yeah,
Let's pick Tampa since it's at home. Tampa's gonna be at home. Okay. Let's go to the next week. And let's we got that one already. Kansas City beating the Bengals, but Kansas City is at home, so that's fine. This one we know the Jags are gonna win because it's against sorry ass Carolina. All right. And then the last week it would be the Dolphins beating the Bills. Kansas City on the road, but Justin Herbert is gone for the rest of the season. So I still think they're gonna win. And then
yeah.
Baltimore and the Steelers. um, It's hard. I mean, this is again, those divisional games are hard to pick, man, because those games are. Let's say, okay, let's keep it as Baltimore. They're the home team. Why not? And then the Jags and Titans. Damn, the Jags have a tough one too. Because now I'm looking at this Titans team, and that Titans team is going to try to be a spoiler
Let's say the rookies continues to ball out and they
and
win
beat
that
the
game.
Jags. Okay, so then those are the new implications, new results. Let's see where the standings would be. And right now, it would be the
Wow.
Dolphins in first. That's if the Dolphins run the table. That's with the Dolphins running the table.
Damn, and then look at that match between Cleveland and Kansas City and Baltimore versus the Bills. Shit.
No, no, it would be. Oh yeah, you're no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Baltimore against
yeah.
the Bills. Wow, wow. So I wanted to do this with you guys
That
because
that would be dope.
I,
I
I, I
mean,
I wanted to show you guys. So
that's
look,
like wishful thinking, in my opinion. But
So
so
so it means we have to go. We need to at least win
one
one
game.
game to make the playoffs,
Yes,
and we would probably need to win 3 out of the 4 to win the division and to earn number one spot on the NFL. I mean
we'd
AFC.
have no, we'd have to go 4-0 to keep the number one.
yeah, we would have to go 4-0
Oh,
to keep
4
the number
0? Okay,
4-0.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because that was the last scenario.
4-0, and assume that the teams that need to lose.
Exactly. And then obviously we would have hopefully beaten Baltimore and then at the same time, the ones that we picked, the Kansas Cities and the no big upsets, just straight up the way it is. So at least win this Sunday. Win this Sunday, and then
Yeah.
half of the battles they're won. Then we'll see what happens against the Cowboys. So, but hey, man, we've been talking about the Dolphins, and this is the segment that we take the longest. So I want to go ahead
Damn.
and thank Big Al, bro. Thank you so much for coming, man. I really really appreciate it.
For sure,
Um,
man. Shout out to the home team over at Event Factor for letting me use their facilities
Perfect.
while we working.
Absolutely.
You like the background or what? Those are real, by the way. Those aren't fake.
Ooh, real
Very, very
vinyls out there.
nice. Very
Nice.
nice.
I was looking outside the security cam. I was like, oh man, they're protecting themselves back there. I want to make sure
Yeah.
nobody breaks in. But before you go, Big Al, whatever you want to plug your social media, where people can find you, or and anything else that you want to share with the crowd or share with the fans and everybody tuning in about you.
Most definitely, man. It's at DJ Big Out One. That's the IG. If you want to follow the private event side at Party Rocker LLC. And I think it's official. Me and our boy Memo are definitely going to start a podcast. We haven't come up with a name yet, but look out for that next year. It's going to be a cool and different vibe for our fellow DJs and music lovers out there.
Well, awesome, man. I really, really appreciate you being here. Obviously, me and Memo
Thanks
are
for
really
having me, man. It was a lot of fun,
hell
and
yeah.
I know I can be a little passionate and overbearing as a Cuban American, but you know,
I'm telling you right now, man. Like this is fun because we get to talk and we get to just chit chat. I mean, we could go for hours. That's the bad thing because we could keep going
facts.
and going and we got stuff to do. But overall, man, thank you, bro. I really, really appreciate you coming on board. And again, like if you ever want to come back, I'll definitely have you on. You know
So
me. You know you and me are always chit chatting, always working. We're both DJs as well. I know, guys. If you guys didn't know, FYI, Big Al is a big in the DJ world. If you are old school like myself, Big Al used to be in Power 96 back in the day. So a lot of people know El Gordito Favorito is Big Al. So definitely catch him. And he's also spinning at different places. I know that he DJs over there at Tequila Bar. So shouts out to Tequila Bar over there in Hollywood.
yes,
And
sir.
bro, thank you so much for being with us, man. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to follow him at Big Al, DJ Big Al, and then Party Rocker as well. And again, thank you so much, Event Factor, as well, for letting um I guess use your studio. Hey, and Event Factor, if they ever want to go ahead and sponsor the podcast, either you or me or whatever, let them know. Ask them, bro. We'll be more than happy to have Event
Oh boy,
Factor and showcase them as much as we can as well. But thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate it,
my
man.
man,
All
fellas,
right, homie. Take care, brother.
parceros, you already know.
Later, brother.
Later out.
All right, so that was Big Al. Thank you, Big Al, once again. Nick, talk to me, man. Can you stick around or do you gotta go? Because I know it's 9:14.
Um, I didn't even notice the time. That simulating thing was so badass that I did not realize the time. But just for the folks out there watching right now, shout out to my boy, my best friend that I've known for over 15 years, Marquel Robinson. Today's his birthday, and I'm gonna go ahead and kind of end the appearance short tonight. Um, it's big 30-30. I know we shouldn't be throwing out numbers out there, but it's the big 30-30 for him, and I just want to be part of it. So thank you
Absolutely.
guys for tuning in on our side. Thank you, Fresco, again for having a great segment with the Dolphins and the wrestling. And I don't really have a quote, an emergency quote. But I guess I'll just leave it with, um, be just be happy, be blessed, enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, and we continue to fight and moving forward.
Awesome, brother. All right, brother. Well, definitely thank you so man. Thank you so much, man. And then I obviously tell Marquel, happy birthday on my behalf. Marquel,
For
shout out
sure.
to you. Happy birthday to you. Giving you that love here on the Let Me Talk to You podcast. And then Friday night, hopefully we could all get together and celebrate his birthday in Miami Lakes for you know where we usually hang out, all of us. So you'll probably catch me going out there
Of
as well.
course.
But thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna
Thank
stick
you,
around. I'm
man.
gonna finish the last couple, like the last 15 minutes of the show. So if you guys are still on and still tuned in, please don't go. Just sit tight. I'll be here. My brother, he's gonna head out. He's feeling the uh the soccer. Oh my god, I can't believe you're wearing that. Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy.
Shout out to
Now I gotta kick
shout
you
out to the
out.
Arsenal fans out there. I'm
Now I
not
got
I'm not a big Arsenal fan, but I like this jersey a lot, so it was cool. All right,
nah,
brother.
bro. All right, man. Peace.
Bye, everyone. Bye,
Later.
Trap family. See you later.
Later. All right, guys. So that is, of course, Big Al, and that was my brother as well. Thank you so much, you guys, for being part of the show for today. Let's talk a little bit about the Miami Heat and a little bit about soccer to end the show. So yes, I'm writing solo. So let's talk about a little bit about the Miami Heat. So the Miami Heat are actually playing right now as we speak. Miami Heat played Charlotte the other day, and they actually the Hornets, and they actually beat the Charlotte Hornets, and now they're playing here in Miami, and the Miami Heat are spanking that ass, bro. They're beating them 66-83. Jesus, good stuff. Um, hopefully the Miami Heat continue their run. Right now, the Miami Heat, when it comes to their record, they are 13-10. The Miami Heat are currently in the standings. They are number 7 in the standings. So, if they're able to win this game, which it looks like they are, hopefully they don't choke it or anything like that. Then the Miami Heat should be able to go to 14-10 and still be up there in the standings. They would probably, well, the Knicks are above them. They're up. The Knicks are actually 13-8. I'm sorry, 13-9, and the Pacers are 13-8. So the Heat have more losses than the Knicks and the Pacers. So we would have to see what results the Pacers and the Knicks have. The other thing I wanted to talk about as well is the in-season tournament. The tournament finally ended. The Lakers won. LeBron James won. He got his title. And let me ask you something. Definitely, the Lakers went ahead and they put a banner for the in-season tournament. Now, is this in-season tournament something that we all in the long run appreciate? Because LeBron was talking about, hey, you know what? This is a great moment in my career for the Lakers. We have a banner of the in-season tournament because we're the first team to ever win an in-season tournament. Do you think it matters? Do you think it really does make a difference winning that tournament right now? Is it going to help LeBron James' legacy? I mean, for the first time, he probably has something better or something that Michael Jordan never had, you know? We don't know. It's going to depend on what that tournament eventually, the future of that tournament, of what could happen with that tournament. If that tournament continues, if we continue to have that tournament, then maybe we'll go and say, okay, the Lakers won it the first time. Congratulations. Good job on you, Lakers. But if, let's say, like in 2 or 3 years, they say, hey, we're done with the tournament, we're going to kick it out. Does it have any significance for the Lakers to have won this tournament? Are they still going to keep the banner up in the rafters? Does it make any sense? I mean, overall, it just doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, to cheer about winning an in-season tournament because you don't know what the future holds when it comes to that in-season tournament. That in-season tournament could be something that can eventually be demolished in a couple of years, and then what? So I mean, props to the Lakers. I'm happy that they were able to win. I'm happy that LeBron was able to win for him. It's good for his track record, his whole legacy that he has. But overall, man, you know, I think LeBron celebrated a little bit too soon. I think at the end of the day, LeBron is, I don't think I think the only reason they even mentioned this tournament as much as they did is because LeBron won. Because if the Pacers would have won, I think they would have gotten rid of it. Like they would have not even like showcased it as much and be like, okay, this and that. So it just, I just feel kind of like it was a little bit kind of like too much from the Lakers. Like, hey man, we won, big deal. Like who cares? Like right now, who cares? Maybe in the long run it'll make sense and we could appreciate it. But as me, as a fan, right now, it's not like, hey, this is the best. This is awesome. You did something that Michael Jordan never was able to achieve. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. You won it. Congrats. Good thing that they won their money for, especially for the other players on the team that don't make as much as the big dogs like Anthony Davis and LeBron James. But it's fine. Nothing special, nothing beautiful, nothing out of this world. I thought it was fine. I don't let's not make too big of a deal about this. I don't think it makes him even better than Michael Jordan. I still always will say that Michael Jordan, although I was not a Michael Jordan fan because I used to hate it when he would destroy and beat Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning back in the day. But Michael Jordan is the best, man. Unfortunately, you can't deny that he is the GOAT of all time. And even though LeBron James now has this tournament in season tournament championship under his belt, it still doesn't make it enough for him to exceed Michael Jordan. Now let's talk a little bit about soccer. Let's transition to soccer. And when it comes to soccer, ladies and gentlemen, we have some news about Copa America. And the Copa America results, actually, the group stage have been made. Um, the group stage that everybody it took place on Thursday in here in South Florida. We were able to get the groups and who will be competing in what groups. So now, and we also found out the locations of where each and every single team will be playing. So let me pull this up. Let me share this thing with you guys. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about here. So we're going to talk a little bit about also Champions League. They had a couple of games today as well, so that's actually good to talk about that. But before we talk about them, so let's hear. Here's the group stage right now. So here are the groups. Argentina, Peru, and Chile are in Group A. Their fourth team has not made it in yet because that's the CONCACAF um battle between, I don't quote me on it. I believe it's Canada and somebody else. I would have to, guys, even the chat, if you guys know, let me know. But definitely it's they're waiting for that game to go on, and it's supposed to happen in a couple of months. That would be added to that group. The second group that we have on here is Group B, which will be Mexico, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Jamaica. Now, on this group right here, man, I would probably say Mexico and Ecuador are the favorites. Don't sleep on Venezuela. Personally, I could see Mexico losing to Ecuador, and I could definitely see them losing to Venezuela. Remember, Venezuela tied 1-1 against Brazil. So watch out, Mexico. If Mexico doesn't get their shit together, I don't know, man. It's going to be a good game for them, but I honestly feel that maybe Ecuador wins that group, and it's going to be a dogfight between Mexico and Venezuela. On Group One, I would say that Argentina and Chile are the ones that make it. Even if like I said, I think it's Canada who's probably going to be in that group. I still think that Argentina and Chile can make it. If actually if Canada's in that group, they could be a sleeper. Group C, USA, Uruguay, Panama, and Bolivia. Panama and Bolivia, they're not going to make it. We know that already. The ones who are going to probably win the group is Uruguay. Uruguay is very strong right now. And the United States, I think they have enough to beat Panama and Bolivia. And then the last group is Group D, which is Brazil, Colombia, and Paraguay. And then the team that's supposed to hopefully be able to make it on there is, I believe, Honduras. So hopefully, I think it's either going to be Brazil, Colombia who wins that group stage and meets in the next round. What we're going to do next week, because I know we were planning on doing it this week, but unfortunately, my brother had to leave early today. But we're gonna break down each one and then go from there and see exactly um where each whoever wins each group, who would they have to face. And here in South Florida, the games that are going to be actually taking place, Argentina is going to be playing here against Peru. Uruguay is going to be playing against Bolivia. And I believe the other game that they were having, another game here, I think there's one more game. I don't remember, but I know that those were the three that were being selected here in South Florida besides the final. As for us Colombians, our games are all gonna two of them are gonna be in California. Well, one is in California, one is in Arizona, and then the other one's in Texas, in Houston, Texas. So you might see your boy Frankie go out and fly out to either Texas or Arizona to check that game out, because I really do want to see the Copa America and see how they particularly fare. I think my team, Colombia, has a very, very good chance of moving on in the group stage. And then let's see who they face. Let's talk a little bit about Champions League. And Champions League came out. Of course, they had games yesterday and they had games today. And today's games were pretty well done. They did a pretty good job overall in general. And let me share this with you guys. That way you guys could go ahead and see the results of what happened over the weekend or over the last 2 days. Lens defeated Sevilla, which for me was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, Sevilla is usually a very, very strong La Liga team, but Lens, don't sleep on Lens. Lens is really top on the French league. Arsenal and PSV tying 1-1. What a surprise. I honestly was thinking that Arsenal was going to win that. Real Madrid, they beat Union Berlin last night. I kind of figured Real Madrid was going to win because Union Berlin, they're up and coming. They not the best team out there, but they're an underdog. But they gave them a run for their money. Benfica beat Salzburg. Napoli beat Braga. Inter and Real Sociedad both times 0-0 last night. That was a little bit of a shock. Copenhagen upsetting Galatasaray. And Copenhagen, I know they're good, but I would have thought Galatasaray would have won that. And then, of course, the frauds of Man U losing to Bayern. Of course, why doesn't that surprise me that Man U lost to they lost to Bayern? Because at the end of the day, Bayern, bro, they're a better team. Let's keep it real. And not only that, but you can never trust Man U. I don't care where they're playing, even if they're playing in Old Trafford, you can never trust Man U. As far as the games for today, Lisbon beat Young Boys, Man City beat that other team 3-2. And Barcelona getting upset today by Antwerp. Wow, Barcelona. Wow, that wasn't expected. I actually had a betting on that Barcelona was gonna win, man. So they kind of blew my chances there with that bet. Uh Porto beat Shakhtar 5-3 in a slugfest. Jesus, 8 goals in that game. Celtic beat Feyenoord. Feyenoord, unfortunately, losing another one. Dortmund and PSG tying 1-1. Atletico Madrid beating Lazio, that was kind of predictable, and then AC Milan beating Newcastle. Newcastle's strong, but Newcastle against AC Milan. AC Milan is definitely better. So with that being said, the leading groups right now we got Bayern and Copenhagen, and look at that, Galatasaray is making it to Eurocup, to Europa, but Man U dead last, man. Why am I not surprised? Arsenal still on top with PSV, Real Madrid and Napoli. Moving on, Real Sociedad and Inter, Atletico Madrid and Lazio, Dortmund and PSG, Man City and Lisbon, and Barcelona and Porto both time, but Barcelona gets the better half because of the goal differential. Overall, excited of what to expect in the next round of Champions League. It should be fun. Champions League is something that we always want to tune in because at the end of the day, bro, it defines who is the best team out there. And then very last thing we wanted to talk about is of course the Euro Cup 2024, which is being held in Germany. So we don't. Let me see if I'm able to pull up the groups of the Euro because I had that pulled up before. Let me see if I got them. Okay, so groups. Here we go. And I want to share this with you guys. That way you guys can see who we got going on here. So let's stop sharing this. And then let's go ahead and share the Euro Cup. See here, Euro, here it is. Here we go. All right, so here we go, guys. So here is that way you guys can see. So this is the Euro Cup groups, and it's a dogfight, man. It's a dogfight out there. So the very first one that we have is Group A, and Group A we have Germany, Scotland, and Hungary. And in this one, I honestly feel that Germany is probably going to be able to at least move on, but I'm not sure exactly if they're going to be able to proceed to I'm not sure who gets second place. That's going to be an interesting one. In Group B, we got Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. Man, that's a dogfight between these three teams: Spain, Croatia, and Italy. Those three teams are No joke. I would probably say that maybe, just maybe, Spain wins that one, and then probably it's going to be a dogfight for second place between Croatia and Italy. I think maybe Croatia gets the upper hand. Just Italy has never done um, that well when it comes to the World Cup, but they've done well in Euro Cups. I mean, they did win the other time. I think they're the defending champions, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe Italy does have a shot. It's gonna be a tough one, man. I'll say this. I say Italy takes the second spot. I think Croatia is the one that's gonna be out. The next round in Group C, we got Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. Obviously, England is the favorites. Don't sleep on Denmark, and Serbia is a good team too. I would say that the favorite ones, in my opinion, for Group C would be England and Denmark. They just seem like the better teams on that group. And Group D, you have the Netherlands, Austria, France, and then the playoff winner A. I don't have. Let me see if it gives me the group details. So let's see here. Does it give me anything? No, it doesn't tell me who's the group winners. It just says I don't know who is the playoff winner A. I would have to take a look and see exactly who is that. But they do tell us the breakdown of each match of who's playing who. The next group that we have is Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and then the playoff winner of B. Um, Hands down, Belgium is probably the favorite here, and then Slovakia would probably be the second one. I think Romania is okay, but they haven't been relevant for a couple years now. And obviously, the last group, Group of F, it's Turkey, the playoff winner C, Portugal, and the Czechs. Obviously, Portugal would probably be the favorite here. Let me see if I could find out who are the teams in the playoff Euro champions. Who are those teams? So I'm gonna try to look and see if I can find who's playing these qualified playoffs. Okay, so let's see who is left to place to join these groups because we need to see who are these two teams. So apparently, let's see who's in the playoff. Okay, so here's the playoffs apparently. Okay, the following is okay. So the first semifinal, so path A. So let's go back to and sorry guys, this is me just trying to do this on my own. So let's do group F. Group F, playoff winner C, right? Playoff winner C, it's between um Georgia and Luxembourg. So whoever wins between those two guys will go ahead and join uh group F in this one. And then in the next one, let's see if I could go up. Let's see if I could do this. This is giving me issues. Let's see here. Let's go back all the way to the top. Okay. So let's do this. Scroll down. Okay, so it was group D. So group D, the playoff winner A is between Wales and Finland. So interesting. Wales and Finland. I think Wales has a really good chance. I don't know if Gareth Bale would still be back. Obviously he retired already, so maybe he makes a cameo. Who knows? And then obviously in Group E, in the Belgian group, that game would be Bosnia against Ukraine, and in that one, I'm pretty sure Ukraine has done really well, really favorable for them when it comes to the to soccer, even though they're going through that whole issue with the war, unfortunately. But that is the Euro Cup. Again, I think what we're going to do as well is just break it down and see who wins each group and then see who are the seedings. And then what we're going to probably go ahead and do as the tournament gets closer, we're going to predict who will win the Euro Cup. Remember, I think the last winner for the Euro Cup was Italy. I think Italy was the last one to win it. So it's going to be a barn burner between all those teams. I mean, Europe is an amazing, I mean, they have great teams over there. And Copa America is going to be fun here in the United States now that we kind of merged South America and Central America and North America for this tournament. They did it once and I'm happy that they did it again. But overall in general, guys, that's pretty much most of what I wanted to speak about in tonight's show. I want to go ahead and thank everybody who has tuned in. Shout out to Chad, who's been in the chat, King Mahi Carlos as well, who I saw in the chat. DJ Big Al, of course, our guest for today. I saw him type on the chat as well. DJ Memo, thank you so much for being part of the of today's broadcast. And to all you guys that have been tuning in to our show every Wednesday, like I said, 8 o'clock. That's what we try to do. I want to thank you guys. Like it's a blessing in disguise, man. I never in my wildest dreams ever thought that I was gonna do a podcast with my brother. I'm always grateful and happy to be able to be part of this. And I'm always grateful and happy that you guys are able to go ahead and tune in every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Shout out to all you guys over there on Twitter or X who watched the show, everybody on Twitch who watches the show as well, and then of course my family and my friends here on YouTube. Check us out, Squared Circle Digest, every Tuesday, 8 o'clock. This week we didn't get a chance to do it, so hopefully we're able to do and make up the show on Friday, me and Sean. Don't forget to follow Sean as well on his channel, Sean Stanley Sports Talk. And then obviously shout out to another good of my friends, obviously Mr. Big O. So tune into Big O Radio Show. You guys know you can always catch me there when he's also streaming. And to all you guys who are always tuning in, guys, thank you. A blessing from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We have more guests coming in. I have another friend of mine who's going to be a guest next week. Overall, in general, thank you. And from everybody here on Let Me Talk to You podcast, the Trapio, he's still some way, somehow, he's still hit that like button, baby. Hit that like, Chad. Good stuff. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Just doing the thing. And again, guys, I apologize. You know, I'm writing solo is a lot more difficult than when you have somebody, because when you're looking up for things and you're searching things on your computer, it's kind of harder because you got to be able to multitask. So I understand why you need kind of like two people. You need an executive producer and you need somebody to go ahead and be the face of the podcast. And I'm doing both when I'm writing solo. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out to everybody out there. I will be hopefully back next week with my brother. And then we're actually taking the show on the road to Pensacola, Florida, where you will probably we'll probably get a sneak peek of a couple of people you've seen on the show. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be different. It's going to be a different background. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just do additional videos of other stuff, because I did want to do a video of fishing. I think the fishing will be pretty cool to do. I know Kim Mahi Carlos is very intent when it comes to the fishing. So I want to go ahead and prove myself that I can hang, and that my fishing skills are right up there with him. So again, shout out to everybody. Thank you once again, all you guys. And from everybody here at Let Me Talk to You, my brother Big Al, myself, Memo, everybody who's been a guest, everybody who's there. It's been 2 months now that we've been doing the show. Thank you so much. I've seen the growth. I've seen the people subscribing. I've seen the people taking and watching the show on Twitter and on Twitch. And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Until next time, let me talk to you. And we are out. Peace.
Let me talk to you.
The biggest icon in wrestling.